Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tennis Hansen, and I'm CEO of the UHN Foundation. And I'm delighted to welcome you to this special virtual event, special virtual celebration. Welcome to those of you on Zoom, and also those of you who are joining us via YouTube live stream. And first of all, I have to say thank you to the many wonderful friends who came forward to make this incredible chair possible that we're celebrating this afternoon. It doesn't seem like 8 years since we held the tribute to the fabulous Dr. G. And Bernie, you have been such a terrific champion for the campaign to cure arthritis. We have so many people who today want to talk about how this chair will transform the way arthritis care is delivered, both in the immediate and the not so distant future. So to start off, it's my great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, who is the President and CEO of UHN, and that is Dr. Kevin Smith. Kevin, over to you.
Am I unmuted now?
You're good now, Kevin.
I'm good now, thank you. Well, thank you so much, and I want to echo Tennis's welcome, virtual welcome, both to those on here and on YouTube. Welcome to truly a celebration. Bernie, the creation of this important chair in your name is such a wonderful testament to your lifelong contributions to medicine and to your many, many, many services at UHN across our tripartite mission of education, service, and clinical care at the highest standards. The establishment of the J. Bernard Gosevitz Chair is wonderful news for all Canadians, but especially those with arthritis, as well as their families and loved ones who support them through a very challenging disease. As a society, we'll all benefit, all Canadians will benefit from this remarkable investment. Many of us who are fortunate not to suffer from arthritis and other rheumatic diseases have the ability to move, walk, stand, and lift and use our joints without pain and without complication. And that is truly a gift that many of us take for granted. But those struggling with diseases like these can't take that gift for granted. Here's a few facts on arthritis that are always daunting and always impressive in terms of the impact this gift will and your investment already is having. 6 million Canadians are currently living with arthritis. That's quite a remarkable number in a country of 35 million people. It's the leading cause of disability worldwide. And we think about that, particularly for those of you from the business world, lost productivity, the impact to our economy, the challenges of so many individuals and families. It really is quite remarkable. By 2040, 1/4 of Canadians will be living with some form of arthritis or its effects. Although with this chair, we hope to turn that trend in a different direction. And to again look at the economic impact of this challenging illness, over $33 billion each year are the cost to the Canadian economy to this disease and group of diseases. It's particularly gratifying to see the inaugural inhabitant of this important chair be Raj Ramprasad. Raj, among UHN's orthopedic physicians, provides the most complex surgical treatments for patients with arthritis in Canada. And he and his colleagues, and I know you'll hear from Christian and others a bit later, do more than 1,200 joint replacements each and every year. Dr. Ramprasad and his colleagues at the Schroeder Arthritis Institute, including Dr. Vayet and Dr. Kapoor, both of whom I think will be speaking today, are deeply dedicated to improving the patient experience, both for patients who are living with pain and immobility due to osteoarthritis and musculoskeletal injuries, and those increasingly who have the potential to develop it. And I think one of the most exciting parts of our research agenda is again looking upstream at how we prevent diseases, particularly diseases of chronicity. Unquestionably, these remarkable colleagues are ahead of their time in developing a model of arthritis care that truly brings together all members of a multidisciplinary team into one clinical practice setting. And a request we hear over and over from our patients who discover the points of transition are particularly challenging. This will also see us utilize big data to inform our research and our process improvement And obviously, the whole world of AI is opening up in medicine, and we plan to be at the leading edge thanks to this remarkable investment. We also look forward to pioneering many digital platforms aimed at reducing wait times and seeing us able to offer more care to Ontarians and have more accessibility to Ontarians, and to provide that care in non-traditional settings, particularly to support patients at home with digital health. Raj's research and leadership has been tapped by the Ontario Ministry of Health and many others who have followed his lead, and we continue to look to Dr. Ramprasad on the day-to-day in terms of how we can improve care. But I know with this chair, it will be truly how we change a system of care that will maximally benefit all those we have the privilege of serving. Raj, we're thrilled and proud that you've been appointed inaugurally to this very important chair, and I know the return on investment will be absolutely spectacular. So thank you very much. I know that the future looks extremely bright thanks to this initiative. I know that arthritis patients will be better served. I can't say enough about how important philanthropy is and the wonderful UHN Foundation. We truly are second to none in this country in enjoying remarkable colleagues who steward the fundraising mission to ensure that UHN really is one of those top 10 in the world hospitals. And we keep moving up thanks to the philanthropy and the dedication of our foundation, both in raising, stewarding, and ensuring investments garner the return that they so deserve. Also, to the generous supporters of this important chair, we are very, very grateful. And Bernie, particularly on behalf of all of Team UHN, our Board of Trustees chaired by Brian Porter, thank you for inspiring such generosity. And I know you will be very proud of the benefit this reaps. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And it's my pleasure now to introduce Annette Larson, who is our Senior Campaign Director at the UHN Foundation. And she has been instrumental in the development of this chair since its inception in 2012. Annette.
Thanks, Tennis. This is a celebration long in the making. As Tennis mentioned, Bernie is a tireless advocate for the campaign to cure arthritis at UHN. Over more than 10 years, Bernie has been advocating about this important cause to his network. He is most certainly part of the core group of volunteers that helped us reach the milestone of 100 million raised for arthritis that we reached last year. The fundraising campaign for this chair was kicked off with a spectacular fundraising event celebrating Bernie's 40 years as a beloved physician. It was a highlight for those of us at the foundation that got to work with Bernie alongside his daughter Shauna on this incredible event. They put in numerous hours to make it a great success. We are very, very grateful for the many donors that has contributed to this cause. First and foremost, I want to recognize our lead donors to the chair, which is Loretta and Ted Rogers. We have Barrick Gold Corporation, Wendy and John Crean, Vera Wilkins and family, Peter and Melanie Monk Foundation, Pam and Paul Austin, Tony and Sherry Fell, Bryce and Nikki Douglas, Alex and Jillian Davidson, KPMG Foundation, Phil Lind, Tina Buchan, Gary L. Miles and Tanta Gupta, Alan, Francine Peters and family, with Bill and Lillian Wiener, Ron Kimmel and Tom Weiss, Colin D. Watson and Barbara Watson, David W. Snowden, Joan and Eileen McGrath, Noel Fitzsimmons, Aqueduct Foundation, Archdiocese of Toronto, John and Eileen McGrath, as well as Joe Burnett and Colleen Kennedy. I also want to thank all of those who attended the 40th celebration of the Dr. J. Bernard Gosevitz tribute hosted in May of 2013.
Thank you so much, Annette. And thank you to all those donors who you enumerated for making this chair possible. And now to tell us more about the Gosevitz Chair in Arthritis Research, it's my privilege to introduce Dr. Christian Bayet, who is the head of the Division of Orthopedic Surgery.
Thank you, Tennis. As many of you know, Bernie has been an incredible advocate for the Division of Orthopedics and the Schroeder Arthritis Institute for decades. He's a friend and mentor to myself and many of my colleagues in the division. And after all, he is one of the top two referring surgeons to the division. Both him and Michael Baker have gone toe-to-toe over the years for this prestigious distinction of referring patients to the Division of Orthopedics. Bernie's very keen on new treatments and alternatives to joint surgery itself. In particular, he's an advocate and has interests in stem cells and restorative technologies and their role in the management of osteoarthritis. He's such a passionate advocate that he actually likes to try out our services and try out our orthopedic implants. And we call Bernie the Bionic Man. And I recently heard that he was casted for the new Netflix original version of the $6 Million Man. The J. Bernard Gosevitz Chair really holds a special place in the hearts of our surgeons, not only because of the great legacy it creates in exemplary patient care that Bernie is known for, but also because of what it represents within our division. And as Annette mentioned, the J. Bernard Gosevitz Chair was conceived over 10 years ago when we, kind of initially thought about and kickstarted the campaign to cure arthritis. Dr. Nazar Mohammed, our division head at the time, had the vision for our 10 orthopedic surgeons at that time, to donate $1.25 million of our own money. And this was matched by philanthropic avalanche of support, as you saw, from grateful patients towards the campaign, as well as the Gosevitz Chair. The Dr. G tribute was an absolutely wonderful evening and a tremendous boost to arthritis care overall and the campaign to cure arthritis. And Bernie definitely deserves recognition for his part in our raising of, to date, the $100 million over the course of the campaign. The real essence of this chair is that it brings together orthopedic surgeons, scientists, physicians, and clinicians who have a passion for arthritis research. And our next speaker knows all about bringing surgeons and researchers together. Dr. Mohit Kapoor is the co-director of the Schroeder Arthritis Institute. He holds the Tony and Sherry Feld Platinum Chair in Arthritis Research. And he's going to do a more formal introduction of Raj and what the chair is going to allow us to do. Welcome, Mohit.
Thank you, Christian. Greetings to you, Bernie, Suzanne, and to your family. On behalf of the Schroeder Arthritis Institute, let me say how thrilled we are about this appointment. We sincerely appreciate your patience with the time it has taken to bring this chair to fruition. And this is a good thing because thanks to the campaign to cure arthritis, our arthritis research program has advanced in so many ways. It is now that we are in a position to maximize the potential impact of this chair. On behalf of my co-chair, co-director, Dr. Robert Inman, our team has created an environment in which Dr. J. Bernard Gosevitz Chair in Arthritis Research will flourish. I'm honored to introduce my colleague, Dr. Rajaram Prasad, as the next speaker. His reputation is stellar, and everyone knows that. And I'm going to share only a few highlights of his career. He graduated with honors from the University of Western Ontario in London, and then pursued orthopedic surgery as his specialty. He completed fellowship training at the University of Tennessee in Memphis and became an associate professor in surgery at the University of Toronto. He joined UHN's Division of Orthopedic Surgery in 1999, and over the past 20 years, Raj has developed a reputation as one of the leading surgeons in minimally invasive spinal surgery. Raj has also published in leading journals, presented lectures around the world, and is an accomplished awarded teacher. He is also the former president of the Canadian Spine Society. A longtime advocate of reducing surgical wait times, Raj has spearheaded the Interprofessional Spine Assessment and Education Clinic, also known as ISAC program, which is approved and funded by the province. He has served as a provincial clinical lead for the Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care low back pain strategy, as well as the quality standard for low back pain. There is no question that Raj is the best candidate for the chair. And I'm so delighted to invite Raj to give us a window into his chair, into the vision of his chair. And I proudly introduce you the J. Bernard Gosevitz Chair in Arthritis Research, Dr. Raj Ramprasad.
Thanks, Mohit, for that very generous introduction. So forgive me, good thing we're on Zoom, because you may see me tear up a little bit or get a little misty-eyed, because many of you wouldn't guess that who know me, but I'm a softie when it comes to the emotional side of things. And, you know, I'm one of those dads you see that cries whenever their kids are doing something at an event, etc. That would be me. So speaking in these types of things, particularly hearing such wonderful comments, is always a bit of an emotional thing for me. So I appreciate that, Mohit, and the rest of you. So to all of those who, you know, made this chair possible, I can't thank you enough. And of course, I can't thank my family enough for their unwavering support and tolerance for the incredible hours that we all put into making the lives of our patients better. So thank you very much for that. There's no question that this is a tremendous honor for me and really the highlight of my career to date. And I hope to continue to progress. My vision for this chair is simple: make the lives of patients with arthritis better now. And, you know, our overarching vision for the Campaign to Cure Arthritis is no more arthritis. So while we're waiting for Mohit to cure arthritis and put me and my colleagues out of business so we don't have to do arthritis surgery anymore, there are two things that this chair will help me focus on and help our group focus on, and really put an end to. The first one is no more waits for arthritis care. Our work on the Arthritis Clinic of the Future, which is a big focus of our group going forward, is really to have a positive impact on the burden of arthritis pain, immobility, and the impact on quality of life that Kevin outlined for us earlier. Literally from the moment we get a request for an assessment of somebody with arthritis, we want to start helping that person manage their life better from day one by having extensive outreach, technologies, bringing to bear our knowledge to somebody in their home. The second thing is no more guessing. As part of our clinic process, we are working on developing our arthritis intelligence program, which is going to be driven by AI, but we like to call it our arthritis intelligence. And essentially that allows us to build a point of care tool so that we can direct you as to which treatments are going to be best for you. And if you're choosing something like a costly injection or even considering surgery, really being able to tell you with good accuracy, is it actually going to work for you? Or are there alternatives that would actually be better for you to choose? So Bernie, I certainly promise to bring as much prestige and impact to this chair as is deserving of your name and your reputation. And it would be remissful of me not to remind you that you said to me not too long ago that you want to make this chair larger and have it have even more impact. So back to you, Glenys.
Well done, Raj. And thank you for your perspective on the chair. And also, of course, thank you, Christian and Mohit, for your comments. So now we have a special presentation. And to help us out, we've asked Jim Leach to do the honors. As many of you will know, Jim is the Chair Emeritus of UHN Foundation, and he's also the board champion for the Campaign to Cure Arthritis. And I believe Jim has had some of his own personal experience in the program as well. So Jim, over to you.
Thanks very much, Tennis. And virtual greetings to everybody. As the co-chair for the Campaign to Cure Arthritis, thank you for joining us to celebrate this major campaign milestone. As Tennis mentioned, I'm a huge fan of the orthopedic team at UHN. Over the years, many talented surgeons on this call have had a turn at putting my body back together after various mishaps. In Raj Ramperzan's case, it was my back. And because of his handiwork, I went from a wheelchair to scaling landslides in the Arctic with a heavy pack on my back in short 6 weeks. He is a master carpenter. I have the pleasure tonight of making a special presentation, which we'll unfortunately have to do remotely, but we'll do it. Now, Bernie and Raja, I believe you have each received a package with instructions that say, do not open. Well, time's come. You can open them now. I'll give you a sec. So I trust you will find a suitable spot for these impressive prints. For the benefit of our audience, I want to explain why these prints are so special. If I was a history buff, I could tell you, an art history buff that is, I could tell you that these prints were inspired by an art form popular during the 15th century in France. The design features were chosen for their regal richness and all have strong ties to the foundations of medicine. The ancient symbols featured on the prints are associated with wisdom, learning, and restoration of health. Quite appropriate for our purpose, I'd say. Tennis, back to you.
Helps if I'm off mute. Thanks for orchestrating that presentation for us, Jim, and for your remarks. And now our chair of our UHN Foundation board, Raj Katari, is going to bring greetings on behalf of the board. Raj.
Yeah, I'm unmuted now. Sorry, I'm in the car. I'm going to another UHN event. So it's great to see all of you, Bernie, Raja, and Mohit, of course, my colleagues from the board, and of course, Annette, as well as Kevin. First, I want to wish you all a happy Diwali. Tomorrow is Diwali, so I hope you're celebrating the victory of light over darkness. And what more can I say when everything really that needs to be said has already been said about Raj, Raja, whatever you want to call him. Actually, his name is Raja. I am Raj. He's Raja. Raja means king. So he truly is not only the king of what he has chosen to do, but Raja, I know your magic hands have touched many a life. And I know Jim mentioned that, but there are many people who you have seen that I know and who continuously sing nothing but high praises of you. I just don't want to repeat what has already been said, but I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you on this prestigious appointment. I want to thank Bernie and all the donors who have done such a tremendous job. And Bernie, you're a special person too, because you have not only made huge commitments to this hospital, but your continuous inspiration of what we do and the other donors that we encourage to support us is absolutely tremendous. So again, thank you for what you do, Bernie. Thank you, Raja, for all the great stuff you do. And I know you're going to transform the arthritis care that is delivered at the Schroeder Arthritis Institute and accelerate learning, discovery, and patient outcomes throughout the world. Again, thank you again. Tennis, back to you. But Raja, truly touched and truly grateful for all that you do. And thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Raj. And I love your analogy. So with the Diwali celebration, the triumph of light over dark would be research over arthritis, I think. So we're now at our final speaker, and Dr. Bernard Gosevitz, we're going to give you the last word. So Bernie, over to you.
Thanks, Tennis. Before I say a few words, Susan, I'd like you to hold up that wonderful, it's going to be in my new office. So every time I sit down at home here at my desk, it'll be one of the first things I see. Camera's there.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me, everybody. Excuse me, Bernie. I'm so sorry. Trying to show this. Not that successful.
That's all right. Story of my life.
Sorry, there, that's better.
Before I go on thanking the donors who've been thanked multiple times, I'd like to say something. Raj and I have been talking on and off since he knew that he was going to get the chair, and we're setting the bar higher. Not satisfied yet. I want to shoot for a $5 million chair, and we're going to work together towards that. But above all, before I say a few other words, I want to thank Susan, my 4 daughters, their husbands, partner. Without them looking after me every few years when I had more surgery, I don't know where I'd be. I will say that having all this surgery and not being able to walk or get into a shower, I've lost all my dignity. But it was for a good cause. The orthopedic department at one time referred to me as their annuity. I had to think about that for a bit, and I think they're right. I must be a user because I've had 3 major joint replacements and 2 of them twice. So it's a tough road. And as a sufferer from osteoarthritis, both from sports, post-traumatic injury, as well as genetics, the incredible work Raj did on my spine was a gift from my late mother. And it's made me very aware of the need. The statistics were given by Dr. Smith in my practice, as I've been in practice now. In a few months, I'll be 50 years. The problems with joint and arthritis are just escalating exponentially. The UHN program, the Toronto Western program, is in my eyes among the best in the world, and definitely richly deserving of the accolades that it gets. I've had patients go to the Mayo Clinic for orthopedic problems, and they're often told, "Why are you here? You have the best people in Toronto." You can't get a better stamp of approval than that. I'd also like to briefly thank Nizar Muhammad, who steered me in this way. Nizar's a great friend, and he's had his run at me too. I really feel that early on in this program that you now see the chair, Nizar played a major role. In closing, I think the development of the research that Mohit, that Raj are involved in, one day is going to really transform the treatment of arthritis. In my vision, I could see sitting down with a young athlete and say, "Well, we've run some tests on you. Maybe you shouldn't play football. Or perhaps if you're going to take up skiing, forget the Black Diamond and the moguls." I remember when I was in hospital with one of my surgeries, I think it was my first hip replacement, the Olympics were on. And Nizar came into the room and I had the games on TV, and it was the side-by-side moguls. He looked at me and he said, "I wonder where they're going to be in 10 years. And there's so much truth in that. At any rate, I'm very grateful for all the kind words. This is a highlight, maybe the highlight of my career to date. Having a fine, fine person and a fine surgeon as Raj holding this chair. Just even the concept of this chair that was originally thought through 12 years ago by my late friend and patient, Tom McMillan, and I pay tribute to Tom. It was beyond any dream I would have ever had. So thank you all. Thanks for people that are watching. And just remember, we want to raise the bar on this chair, so don't forget that. Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. And congratulations, Bernie, and congratulations, Raja. It's a great celebration and great day. And now we're actually at the end of our formal agenda. Bernie, thank you for all you do for UHN. You're a huge contributor to the arthritis program, but you contribute so many other places as well. And I'd like to also take a moment just to say how grateful and how lucky we are to have not only such generous donors and passionate volunteers, but incredible medical leaders whom you've heard speaking today. And supporting them is an incredible privilege, but it's something that we all have to keep working on, as Bernie has just reminded us. So thank you all. This is the end of our agenda, and please stay safe and stay healthy. And again, thank you for joining us. Good evening.